Hello, 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 everyone. It is 8 o'clock on a Monday night, and we are back in the house as promised. Yes, SimLoH Dynasty, we are in the house. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I am so happy today. When I tell you I'm happy, I'm so happy. I'm so excited for our conversations, SimLoH Dynasty conversations. If you are out there, I am just asking right now that you will come on in, let us know and see who you are. Say something. Hello, hello, hello. I want to know who's out there. And while you all are coming in, I'm going to go on over here to my phone and tag some folk and invite you in. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let me turn this volume down. Come on in. Invite somebody for the SimLoH Dynasty conversations on tonight. When I tell y'all, it is going to be a great conversation. You cannot miss this. This is a family. This is a family conversation because we need people to know about some of the things that is happening when it comes to mental health within our households. Okay, so I'm asking y'all, come on in, but share this post, share it with someone. I'm sharing, I'm inviting people to come on in. Y'all can't miss this. My guest is off the chain. He is awesome, and he's going to tell you about himself. Say hello. Say hello. I see you people. Say hello. Our guest is, man, I want to tell y'all and I don't want to tell y'all, okay? But he's going to talk about himself. You know, can't nobody talk about you like you, all right? So without further ado, I want to invite my guest in. Hello, Dr. Easley. What's going on? Bless you. I'm so glad you came in. You are, that's my mentor. Yes. Yes. Dr. Easley, I might have to hit you, invite you on in here tonight. But you all, without further ado, I want to introduce my guest today. And his name is Patrick Easley. This is one of my homeboys. Woo! Let him in, let him in.
Hey.
What's going on?
This is the Lord's doing.
Yes, it is. Yes,
it's
it
marvelous
is.
in my eyes.
Yes,
I'm so glad to be with you.
So excited to have you here today. We have been trying to literally, well, I have been trying to get in contact with you forever, and now you are finally here, and I'm so excited. We're going to talk about your book. We're going to talk about what you're doing and everything, and just understand this is just, y'all, for you all who are new, all we do is just have a conversation like we're sitting in a room with each other, and we just, you know, when you're having a conversation, you don't write and think about what you, well, let me see what I'm going to talk to him about. No, we are chilling. Like at home, I'll have videos and everything. And I just want to share with everyone what SimLoH Dynasty is about. And SimLoH Dynasty, our goal is to bring awareness to ACEs, which is adverse childhood experiences, trauma that children have received between the ages of 0 to 18. And so Patrick is here today because he's going to share some of his traumas, but not only do we focus on the traumas, we focus on the resiliency, okay, and how he made it, and what he's doing now to be able to help others from experiencing what he experienced, or bringing awareness to it so that they can get help. So Pat, before we go on, get on your social medias, your YouTubes, whatever. Share with someone, go live so that you can see the comments also, that they you know, on your phone you can see the comments, and you can, we're going to have questions and answer time. And if anyone, Dr. Izzy, would like to also join this live, just hit me up on my text and I'm going to send you that link. We would love for you to join the conversations, okay? But yeah, so share this with others. And you ready to talk about yourself?
I don't know. No. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready
Yeah,
for this conversation.
okay. So tell us about yourself.
Well, I am a father first and foremost. I am, even above that, a child of God, a lover of Jesus. I am a father of two sons. I'm a husband. We will be hitting 16 years in December.
Hey,
Listen, I've got a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, two boys, two knucklehead little boys. And yeah, I'm an author. I am a transformation life coach. I am currently a grad student pursuing a graduate degree in clinical mental health counseling. I am an itinerant pastor. I am, and as far as my career, I am a real estate broker.
all right. Well, see, can't no, I couldn't. Hey, that was a lot. That was a lot. But God, okay.
Good Lord.
But God. Well, that is awesome. And I always try to correct people when they say they are a parent first and foremost. You are a husband first and foremost, then a
Yeah,
parent.
husband. He's right. I am a husband first and foremost. You
Husband
are
first.
exactly right. You are exactly right. Look, wouldn't be none of them if it wasn't us.
Wouldn't be none of them if it wasn't.
That's right. That's
That
right.
is awesome. That is awesome. So Patrick and I, we grew up in church together.
Mhm.
I got a few years on Pat, but he was always a little old soul. Okay. Dr. Izzy said mental health student. Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Look, and it ain't no joke.
Okay. So yeah, we met. Well, how old are you, Pat?
I am 33.
33. Yes. Oh my God. He was really an old soul, y'all. But I'm 50. I'm
Really
50.
good.
I always have to say that. And one of the things I like is when I am still in touch with millennials. You know, a lot of them, they all call me TT. And one thing about the millennials is that in some cases, people, their parents were around my age or a little older. Okay. Um, we starting to learn that. And so somewhere, somehow, my group just was messing up. I'm just, I just we some of us did great jobs and some of us just messed up when it came to parenting. And a lot of us, our parents parented our children. Okay. And so a lot of people don't talk about it, but I'm starting to notice that about 21 and between that 21 and 39-year age group, their parents are we about in the same generation. And I hear a lot of horror stories, that what I would do believe has gone down from generation to generation to generation to generation. And now we're just getting to the point. It's not do as I say, not as I do. You get what I'm saying? We don't live in that anymore. And so because of that, we're starting to speak out.
Mhm.
The millennials and some of us parents who recognize that something went wrong. We're starting to speak out more. And so that's why I have you here. And that's why I have the conversations, is because speaking up is a healing mechanism for someone else. Okay. They realize, one, they're not the only one going through, because when you're going through it, you usually feel like you're the only one.
Mhm.
And so with ACEs, kids don't talk about, well, I think these new kids, I have a 10-year-old, so y'all, I missed the book somewhere, my kid is 10, okay? And so this kid talks a lot, and I believe he'll tell, but you never know. I talked a lot too, and I didn't tell about some. I didn't tell my mom about some of the traumas that was happening to me. I didn't talk to my father about that. So we're trying to leave a space where kids can, not just kids, but also adults who like, oh my God, they survived. You know what I'm saying? But they're still dealing with the traumas in their life. Oh yes, oh yes. Doctor, y'all, I go back and forth. Dr. Izzy says, and you can see down here, we need more Black males in the mental health field. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we do, because men don't like to talk. Okay. And they need to talk. They need to speak up about their problems and their issues. I think we're getting better. And you know what? I got to share that. Dr. Izzy has a men's wellness thing that's going on. And I'm going to share that on here. So while Patrick is sharing his story, I need to flip that in because it'll be on YouTube, even though they'll be here locally in Georgia, but it'll be a YouTube event. So, Dr. Izzy, if you can text me that flyer again, text it to me if you can text it to me. And that's why I like just the regular conversations, because we can switch up. It ain't a program. I'm trying to get people healthy in the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know that you said you're a husband first, then you're a father, and you have 2 lovely boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is that raising 2 young men in this time?
Lord Jesus. Thank God for Jesus.
Thank God for Jesus. And a father who is deep into mental health. So
listen.
They should come out the
I'll be very it's difficult in the sense of getting them accustomed to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to shelter. It's easy to love on them. It's easy to be daddy, to be, but then when you have to introduce them to the real world, that's scary and that's challenging. And especially, we had relocated to Kentucky. So we have been living in Kentucky, which is a small city. Everybody know everybody. The kids are being bused to school. Mm-hmm. I don't have a whole lot of safety issues there. I can walk outside of my door, leave the door unlocked, leave my car doors unlocked, never been broken into, so I never in a million years thought that I would relocate to Chicago while my children are still growing, while they're still in adolescent stage. And so when God instructed us to come here, that was a huge challenge for me. To have 2 Black males in the city of Chicago. And it's just different here. In Chicago, you have to grow up early. You have to learn how to maneuver and how to, deal with the streets, so to say. You know what I mean? And when kids are going to high school, they're not necessarily, they don't have school buses. And so they have to, a lot of kids are getting on public transportation. And so just trusting, listen, that thing is scary.
Yes.
Especially when you have children who come from such a sheltered environment.
Yes.
You're dumping them into something where it's like, oh my God, what is this?
And see, I did the opposite. I left there and came down to a more sheltered, environment. Yeah.
And it's wonderful, isn't it?
I love it. I don't want to change it. God, leave me here for a minute. Okay.
So that's been the challenge, but I'll say this, because we are very strong in our faith, number one, and really sowing that seed in them and giving them a solid foundation to know who their help come from, to know how to tap into that, space, and to also create safe space in our house for difficult conversations.
That's important.
Yeah. So there's nothing that's off limits in my household. If they're dealing with something or they're fearful to talk about it or something, they're at that stage, especially my oldest, where he's going through puberty and he's changing and hormones are changing and he's feeling stuff he ain't never felt, so being able to provide, a safety net for them and a safe passage for them to be able to have those, taboo conversations with their parents has been, it gives me the greatest joy,
Right.
being able to just start a random conversation about something that according to societal norms is something you just don't talk about with your kids, but my kids not find it strange and they open up and they're willing to share and talk about those things. It's a huge blessing, as a parent. And I was just thinking Sunday, we were doing a little Bible study or whatever, and afterward, just Holy Spirit reminded me of, this is your why. This is your why. Your children, your boys, your legacy, that is your why, And so that's what gives me the most gratification is seeing those two little boys grow and become and unapologetically be the men who God created them to be, not who I want them to be or who I think they should be, but who God created them to be. And something you had said before I started talking, you were talking about men and that men don't talk. And I don't think that it's necessarily that men don't talk. I think that as a society, we don't give men safe passage to talk because we put so many stipulations on what it means to be a man. And when it comes to emotions, that's the last thing that we give men emotional safety to show, because guess what? We're protector. So when you are cultivated to be protector, who do you go to when you need protecting?
Okay, come on
When
there,
you need
preach.
protection, you know what I mean? So I think that it's important. And as Dr. Izzy said, that's my son's affectionate name. His name is Israel, and so we affectionately call him Izzy. But as she had said, we need more Black men in mental health, and that's a huge part of my why and why I'm deciding to really delve into mental health and get the degree and all of that stuff. Is because I see, the disparity, I see the lack, I see the gaps, and mental health is just number one. It's not something we talk about enough as a community.
Period.
You add the layer of the Black man in mental health. That's a whole other beast, that's to be defeated. So, I really think that, and even in writing the book, one of the things that I discovered when I was going through therapy, I couldn't find any books by men or by Black men, who have suffered emotional abuse, who have at the hands of their mother. We grow up, you don't talk about your mama. You only have one mama. You only, and so
Mama crazy though.
Mama crazy. She beat me. She cussing me.
Yeah, but don't talk about it.
But don't talk about it. Don't say nothing about her. And so that's just toxic in and of itself. And as you and I had talked last week, a lot of this stuff it's generational. Because grandma did it, great grandmama did it that way, great great grandmama did it that way, great 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 grandmama did it that way because she was in slavery and she adopted a lot of that slave master mentality. And so now this is what she's seen or what he's seen and what they've adopted as this is how you discipline your children.
Yes.
You berate them, you belittle them to beat them into submission, beat them into subjection, intimidate them enough to where they do what you want them to do and they, and they submit to your authority. And so we've passed that toxicity from generation to generation, so yeah.
Wow. I owe you an offering on that one. That's what I tell you. That was good. That was good. That was good. Had me really thinking, because we are not sensitive. I mean, meaning the society when it comes to our men and especially our Black men. We're not. We're not. We're not. And I'm learning. Trust me, I'm learning. I was really hard too. Now, come on now, suck it up. With our son, we have taken a total different approach. My husband, he wish he would hear somebody say, "Don't you cry." He was like, he hurt himself. He can cry. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something.
It's okay, but get back up. It's a way to nurture it. You get what I'm saying?
Nurture
but
it.
Men need
That's the key word.
Also. Sometimes we can desensitize men so much that they can't. Then you want them to get married. Then you want them to have children. But
and they become apathetic, and they're
Yes.
unable to feel, and they numb pain. And they
Yeah.
have a whole chapter in my book where I talk about men and their emotions, and I use the analogy, of a boy playing sports, exactly what you just said,
Yeah.
playing sports, and he fall and he hurt something, and everybody's laughing, and he's in pain, he's crying, but the first thing he's gonna get up, slap on the butt, keep it moving. And
Keep it
so
moving.
many men live that way. You have an upset, you go through something, you experience something that has emotionally broken you at your core. Your soul is in shambles and broken pieces, but society tells you, get up, keep going, you okay, you good, champ, keep moving. And so
then they walking around with concussions.
Whole concussions.
Bad knees. Yeah, you know,
whole concussions.
Whole concussions, because no one took the time to really check and see. And so, yeah, that's just an example of, they grow up with this concussion of life, and no one has ever dealt with it. So, yeah, I get it. And I know that you are talking about the book.
Yes.
What is the name of the book?
So the book is entitled Make Her Love Me, A Son's Battle with Narcissism and Abandonment. And the title of the book is, it's truly kind of my heart's message, growing up. Make her love me. Somebody make my mama love me. And so when a child, grows up with that type of internal message and that cry, that desperate cry, there's always this longing and this sort of striving for approval and striving for affirmation, because the one person who was supposed to give it to you fell completely short of it and didn't have the capacity and didn't have what it took to nurture you and to give you identity, and a lot of that falls on the father as well, especially with your sons, to give your son identity, to give him language for who he is. Hang on one second.
No problem. We keeping it real here. So whatever's going on.
My computer I need my charger.
That happened to me on the last show.
Hold on one second. Let me go get my charger.
Go ahead. Well, while we're waiting on Pat to get back, I just want to show you all, this is his book. There it is. Make Her Love Me. Make Her Love Me. And he's going to share with us more about the story. And while he's also doing it, I guess I can show, this would be a great time for me to show the video. I'm going to add it to the screen here while he's doing that.
Healing can be a very difficult road. It's definitely worth it in the end.
If you want to heal, you've got to be willing to do the hard work.
Rejection.
Yes, it is hard work.
Abandonment.
Whether the abuse was verbal or physical, the internal message is still the same.
Unwanted, unworthy, unloved. Healing can be a very difficult road. It's definitely worth it in the end.
If you want to heal, you've got to be willing to do the hard work.
Rejection.
Yes, it is hard work.
Abandonment.
Whether the abuse was verbal or physical, the internal message is still the same.
Unwanted, unworthy, unloved.
This is the cry of many sons and daughters who secretly fight. It's gonna be hard.
Mother wound.
You're gonna cry. You're going to feel that pain all over again, but it is worth it in the end.
Where's my daddy? I just remember being afraid and lonely. You can't heal what you don't tell.
I had to be willing to go backwards.
Mommy, I love you.
That's the only reason I'm calling your phone back.
I love you.
I'm not sure we can get our relationship. I give you
permission
To heal one piece at a time.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good. Those are Chicago streets.
That was every aspect of that video was a piece of my childhood. The house that you saw was the house where I grew up in before I moved with my grandmother, before she took me. The school that you saw was the first school that I went to before I went to Drake, which was just around the corner. The Vidoc, the everything, that was that entire neighborhood. And then the voice that you hear at the end is actually my mother's voice. It's recorded voice messages that I saved over the years of moments when she would call in a manic, just in a manic state, cursing or, trying to vie me or get my, draw me back or woo me back into that toxic web. And so those are actual audio clips. Yeah, it's very, very real, very raw. And yeah, I still get a little teared up when I see it. So
yeah, I can tell. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
I cannot imagine. And one of the things that I liked about the book is, and I haven't totally finished the book, but it is good, y'all. It is really good. I like the fact that you come out with the hard information first about narcissistic behaviors and the mental health issues. You educate us on the process before you even go into your own life.
Yeah.
And so can you share with us that part of mental health behavior and how it affects and some of the tricks and things that you experienced and others can experience?
Absolutely. So, when we talk about narcissistic behavior, you have to talk about emotional abuse, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. When you are the child or you are on the receiving end of a narcissistic person's behavior, it becomes emotional abuse. When we talk about, even abuse, there's 4 different forms of abuse. You have physical, you have sexual, you have neglect, and then you have emotional abuse. Crazy thing is that emotional abuse is actually the most prevalent of the 4. However, it is the least studied. And the reason being is because it is very complex in nature. It's very difficult to detect. When you, even Child Protective Services, a lot of times they won't intervene because you have to be able to prove that a child is significantly harmed. If you are a crisis interventionist, if you are a counselor, if you can't prove that the child is actually harmed, then they won't intervene. And so a lot of these children stay stuck in these toxic households and these toxic environments, and a lot of times emotional abuse, it's non-physical. Obviously, it's non-physical behavior. And so the parent, when they are using that form of abuse against their child, usually it results in them embarrassing their child. It results in them shaming, blaming, criticizing their child, manipulating them. And so it's very similar in a sense to, like, when you look at neglect, in the sense that both neglect and emotional abuse, they're similar in the fact that they both have omission and commissions, which are described as behaviors. Like omissions is more or less a behavior where the parent or the individual is neglectful, such as the absence of emotional warmth or the absence of nurturing. And then you have acts of commission, which are more direct behaviors. So you'll get more of the verbal assaults. And so you most commonly see this type of abuse, emotional abuse, in the parent-child relationship. That's how crazy it is. You see it in the parent-child relationship. And so it's a persistent, ongoing pattern with these children where their parents are, they are bullies. They just completely bully their children. And they intimidate their children, and they use tactics to manipulate and to get their, and even, when you get into narcissism, one of the prime traits of a narcissist is gaslighting. So they'll try to convince you that you're the crazy one, and that you just making stuff up, when in reality they are manipulating, and they're using you, because at the end of the day, the narcissist is looking for control. The narcissist is looking for power. The narcissist is looking for dominance. And so if there's any moment where they are in your presence or they're around others and they don't feel like they are the highlight of the moment, or they don't feel like they are the center of attention, they will do whatever they can to diminish you, and to then bring the spotlight to them. And so when we talk about, just going back to emotional abuse, a lot of times what emotional abuse does to a child is it stunts their emotional development. And so when you have a parent who constantly threats you, who constantly puts you down, who constantly rejects you, who even withholds love from you, withholds support from you, withholds guidance from you. And a lot of times it's intentional. Sometimes it's not that they can't do it, it's that they're not willing to do it. Now, then there's others who really just don't have the capacity. And so you'll spend an entire lifetime trying to get something from them that they just don't have the capacity to give you, which leaves you broken, heartbroken, leaves you, constantly looking for things to fill that void of wanting that parent, to be a parent and to be a nurturer and to be all of these things. And a lot of times what you'll find with people who are bona fide narcissists is that they have experienced some sort of childhood trauma themselves that was left unhealed, that was left untouched. And so what they did was create this personality and create sort of this state of being where they are living in this dream almost of being some grandiose, some grandeur type of person. And they actually start to believe it. And they actually start to operate and move as if they're above you on welfare, but they will present to the world like they are the next celebrity, rising. And so that's just the nature of a narcissist. And I do want to say this when it comes to narcissism, because it's becoming such a buzzword and everybody's saying it.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was just in here thinking, why is it that we are just getting this name for it? How did the name come about? And because we came up with the bipolar. We went from schizophrenia to bipolar, now narcissist. How did this name? Because I'm gonna tell you, I've been searching for years, and the definition, the breakdown is so real. It's like it's something that just hit, and it's like boom. You can recognize it once you learn it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So go ahead with that. That's so good.
I honestly think with things of recent years, the past 8+ years, that those in leadership have really brought to light the term narcissism. Without caring to really go into politics, I think that has really brought that to light. And so now it's become a buzzword, and it somewhat irritates me in a sense, because we're calling everything and everybody a narcissist.
Yes. And let me tell you, so much so that I was a psych major. I didn't finish school at the time that I should have finished school. But let me tell you this word has been buzzing, like you said, around me so much that I knew that it meant something dealing with mental, but I'm like you.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a loose word that we should just be using in terms of for people, because that's a
Yes.
dangerous position to be
Mhm.
to be a
Mhm.
narcissist.
If you really knew what a narcissist
If
was,
you really know what, and I just really literally found out this year, honestly, like I had to study it. I was researching it after it was brought to me, and I said to myself, why do we use this word so loosely?
yeah,
Any little small, oh, they are narcissists. Oh, everything is they're narcissists. Because they show a little bit, you know what I'm saying? They just mean
that
today
part,
and not
that part.
all the time.
You have to show well more than one or two
Well, more, it
traits
has
of
to
a
be a
narcissist. Because the truth
continued.
is if we told the truth, we'd all be narcissists. You know, everybody has some type of trait, some type of selfish part of them. Some, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Everybody's got something about them that you could
yeah,
easily say, "Oh, you're a narcissist." But the
yeah.
reality is that you've got to have a laundry list
Yes,
of
yes.
items that you checking off to say that person is a narcissist. So I just really wish we kind of get out of that calling everything and everybody a
I
narcissist,
agree.
because everybody's not.
Yes,
Some
I
people
so
are
agree.
literally
And
just,
the more I read
yeah,
it, the more I do not want to use it, because people really need to understand that when you use that word pertaining to someone, you need them to put up their antennas and say, "Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
yeah,
this is serious." Because
yeah.
who really wants to be in the presence of that type of behavior? You get what
Come
I'm saying?
on. Yeah.
So to use it, like you say, it's been a buzzword and
Mhm.
it's agitating to me. And I think too, it's agitating to us who have had to deal with it.
Mhm.
So when you
Very.
haven't had to deal with it, to use it and not understand it, because it's not even just bad for the person you're calling a narcissist, but it's bad for you as the person that's probably been the victim
Mhm.
of the narcissist. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
when people are just using it, you don't want them to just use that, because I'm just like, that's like, it's not right. It's just not right.
Not at all. So we
It's,
really have to be careful with how we use these terms, and we're just such a, whatever trends on social media is what we latch on to, and we start saying stuff out of context, haven't researched it, don't know anything about it. So if you think that someone is a narcissist, I would strongly encourage you to really delve into it, research it, look it up, find books to educate yourself, so that you're not out here using this term loosely and labeling someone because they just had a bad day.
yes, most
Because they
definitely.
just had a bad day, or a bad week, or going through a rough patch or a rough season. We want to be careful, and we want to be cognizant, of what we say and what we speak over people, because everybody is not a narcissist. And so,
Got it.
a lot of times,
Now we have a lot of them out there, but everybody,
we got a whole lot, but
it's a
everybody
whole
ain't.
lot. It's a whole
Everybody
lot.
ain't.
And the thing is, once you do the research on it, and you don't have to be an actual look, the stuff is all over. It's on YouTube, it's everything. Just learn the behaviors for
Yeah.
one. And educate yourself before you just start calling people narcissists, because narcissists, one of the things I've learned about a narcissist is that they don't even think they're a narcissist.
No, Lorraine,
So,
let me
and
tell you
that's
this.
because they haven't taken the time to even study what narcissism is. But I've learned, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that they don't even have enough data. And Dr. Izzy, too, they don't even have enough data on narcissistic behavior, due to the fact they don't even go get checked. You know what I'm saying? They
You
don't
just
even
said a
have.
whole lot. Like, I could unpack every bit of what you just said. So number one, they will never recognize that they are narcissistic,
Exactly.
because
That's what it is.
narcissists they cannot look within. They cannot look at the man in the mirror. They cannot face within. They cannot do the introspective work required to peel back those layers. So for a narcissist, everyone else is the problem. Even though they are the big elephant sitting in the middle of the room and everybody around them knows that they are the elephant, to them, everybody else is the problem.
Yes.
and it's really sad, because it's almost like they're stuck in this mindset where it's like they're unable to see. They
Yes.
can't see that something is wrong, and you will spend a lifetime, trying to get them to love you, get them to affirm you, getting them to approve of you, getting them to just rationalize with you. That's a challenge in and of itself, because a lot of times when, they're not level-headed individuals, they're not able to rationalize and have real, conversations without everything somehow turning toward them and they becoming the focus of the conversation. And so a lot of times you'll find with narcissists is that they're unable to empathize. They're unable to feel the needs of others. They're unable to sit in your shoes. So prime example, I tell a narcissist.
Wait, hold on. I got to cut you off right there. Look, because y'all, this is good. When I tell you, if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that needs this conversation, I need for you to share it with them. Copy the link. Tell them to go. If they don't have Facebook, tell them to go on my YouTube page, SimLoHDynasty.com. I mean, no, what is my YouTube page? YouTube page, SimLoH Dynasty, Inc. Okay, SimLoH Dynasty, Inc. SimLoH Dynasty, Inc. INC. Tell them to go to that YouTube if they don't have Facebook. When I tell you all need to invite some folks. Now, I from my understanding, y'all, I'm on a different platform here, and I'm, trying to get tech savvy, and I'm missing a lot of. Oh yeah, Raquel, I hear you say.
They saying some good stuff in this chat.
Huh?
Dr. Izzy, she's saying some good stuff. I need to start looking at these comments.
Okay. Can you see your wife's comments?
I can't see hers. No. Okay, I see her. I see that she's watching. So
okay.
Yeah,
okay. Good. So what I need, I'm trying to be able to answer questions too and see everyone's, but I'm on this different platform and I don't think I can see everybody. So that's the reason why, if you all can share this live, let people go in. I have my phone pulled up. I'm trying to get tech savvy. Okay. I'm trying to do this thing so that we can get the word out. I'm not really, although everybody say I got the gift, and I know I do have the gift of gab, but it hasn't always been my thing to do social media. But so many lives are being changed from these conversations, and I see people who have things to help other people, and they go live, and I get helped. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be obedient to God to get on here and do this and share with you all not just my story, but other people's stories, so that people can be healed. And so this conversation is so good. I mean, God will answer. I had his book last year, but did not know that it would be good for this time today. And when I tell you all, now that I found out, for those people who used to use that word, or what I thought too, a lot of people was using the word loosely. They really were around narcissists. And I just didn't know what, you know what I'm saying, what it was. So they were really speaking, in some cases, their truth.
Yeah.
But then also, since I've noticed and researched, as my sister down here said, Raquel, learned to self-evaluate. You know what I'm saying? I had to self-evaluate my own life and understand that, oh man, this has hit me. But now that I've educated myself, I can recognize when a friend or someone is talking to me about their situation. I'm just like,
It's all adding up now,
It's adding up now.
Yep. That was the one of the greatest blessings, actually, that came out of my therapy, was discovering narcissism. And when I discovered it and I started reading these little checklists, and I finally got language for what I've been experiencing, because for years, again, that toxicity is so normalized in our community. We normalize, parents cussing their kids and talking crazy to their children. And we normalize that type of stuff in the Black community. We just do. And so a lot of times people would kind of brush it off or not really give much attention to what was going on, in our house. And I would oftentimes feel guilty for feeling some type of way about her. And it's crazy because of course I've got this whole other spiritual side to me. So at a very, very, very young age, I knew that there was something going on with her, something more.
I believe that kids do recognize it.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I believe this, that kids recognize it. But as children, you don't know what it is. You just
don't have
know that
language
it's
for it.
something.
You don't have language for it.
You do not have a language for it. Okay.
Yeah.
You do not have a language, but kids know. You know good from evil. Period. You just who's gonna teach you to say, you're gonna call your mama, your brother, your sister, whatever, you're gonna call them a narcissist? No, you're not gonna do that.
Right. You just gonna submit to whatever's going on.
All kids used to say is they crazy.
And listen, and they would do it so jokingly, oh, that's just such and such being such and such. Oh, that's just who they are. You just got to get used to it. And you just got to not be so in your feelings and so, sensitive. And it's like, once I finally got language for what this was, I shouted all over my house. I said, Lord, I thank you. God, because you.
Now, how old were you?
You were crazy.
I read the book, but I'm saying, I read some stuff, but I may have to ask you some questions because they ain't read it, but they need to get it. So we're not going to give it all. Y'all need to get this book. I'm going to put it up here again because you need to get this book, Make Her Love Me. And it's not just the her, but in your case, it was the her. Make him love me, dads. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on. When I tell y'all, I'm looking for it. It's coming up. But when I'm telling y'all this, y'all need to get this book and you need to follow his page. Make sure you put that in your I'll
put it in the comments.
In your comments, yes.
I'll put it in the comments.
Okay. So you all go to his page also, but this book is called Make Her Love Me. Okay. I can't see the little part. You tell me that again. That part, I don't want to read it wrong. A son's battle with narcissism and abandonment. That's right. A son's battle. And that's the thing. Our kids, they're not talking about that. Kids are not, man, a kid can be helped just by getting this.
Listen,
not just a male child, but a female child too.
You will be so surprised how many of our children are in these types of environments, and just even to what we were talking about earlier, when it comes to other forms of abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, those are easily identifiable because you see the welts, you see the bruises, you see the scars, you see the black eye, you see, you can tell that she's been entered into, you know what I mean? You can see that he, and so when it comes to emotional abuse, you don't see the scars. However, there's so much internal damage. The body is physically broken, when it comes to other forms of abuse. But but with emotional abuse, it's more of your soul that's being broken. It's more of your identity that's being broken. And so you don't see that. And a lot of times with children, a lot of children are resilient in that sense. And so, when school counselors may not be able to detect it because the child is highly scholastic, super intelligent. The child has discovered, healthy coping mechanisms. The child has, a social life. And so they appear to be resilient. But when you start peeling back those layers, I was that kid. You would have never known, that I made straight A's. I had great behavior. I was, participating in extracurricular things, and so you would have never known.
Do you think that was a way to, like you said, escape? It's a way to escape because if I stay busy, I don't have to deal with what's there.
I think it was a combination of both. Okay. I think that, and I know for me, I'm natural. I just have the brains. I like school. I love learning. I just do. However, what happens with that child where they've not been affirmed and they've not been approved and they've not been given identity is that now they take that area where they are getting affirmation. So for me, it was from my teachers. And so then I used that as kind of the place where I started to strive because I liked that feeling of feeling like I was good enough.
Yeah.
And so because my teachers gave me that, that just gave me even more momentum, it gave me even more fire to want to excel. And then as that fire and that flame builds and builds and builds, then it becomes perfectionism.
Okay.
Then it becomes people pleasing. Then it becomes, I don't know how to say no. Then it becomes, I base my value on how well I perform and not just by simply being Patrick.
Okay.
So it's layers on top of layers on top of layers. And so, with resilient children, it's so difficult to see that there's harm done, which is why CPS won't intervene, which is why it's very difficult to.
And CPS is Chicago public schools, not so. but I think that schools.
Child Protective Services.
Huh?
Child Protective Services.
So
when I say CPS,
I'm thinking about Chicago public schools. I'm sorry, Child Protective Services.
Child Protective Services.
Right.
They won't intervene, because they don't see the scars, and you can't prove that something's wrong with the child.
That's
but then
true.
The child becomes adult, and they are emotionally broken, dealing with abandonment, and abandonment is more than just somebody walking out of the house and not coming back. You can emotionally abandon a child and live with them every single day. You can emotionally abandon a spouse and sleep beside them every single day. So there's abandonment even beyond just a physical presence, but abandonment with emotional presence and nurturing and just showing up. So it's a whole lot of layers.
Okay. Raquel is asking, is the book on Audible?
Me and Lorraine, look, that's why she's looking like, we literally just had this conversation because I told her that a lot of people have asked me if I was going to do an audiobook, and I think I will. Be on the lookout for it. It's not out yet. However, yeah.
Don't hesitate to get it. I'm telling you, it's a good read. It's a good read. I would prefer it also on Audible because I'm more of a listener reader.
Yeah.
But we just had this conversation. I was getting on him, but my book is not on there either. So we both got to do the Audible. But great questions. Do you have any questions on your side?
Me?
From the from your comment?
I'm not seeing nothing specifically on my side. Hold on, let me go to because I'm still on your page.
Okay.
Hold on.
When I tell y'all, you need to really, really, really share this. And usually I've been had about 100 commercials in between, what have you, and promos. But I find this topic, when I tell you, it's needed. It's needed because I believe that this mental health, period, just the topic of mental health, which if you notice, I'm talking about different things on every conversation. We've talked about teen pregnancy. We're talking about narcissism. We have talked about being raised as a child who gets everything and no one expects that there's still problems in the home. We've talked about substance abuse. We're going to have parenting conversations. Y'all, we're going to be out here really talking about the hard topics, which let me ask you this question. I usually ask a lot of people. What empowered you to write the book and start dealing with it? Like, I know your mother passed away. Was it after or was it before she passed away? You were trying to work to have a voice about this.
It was definitely right as she was passing away. It was a conversation in her hospital room.
Wow.
It's in the book.
Yeah, you don't have to give it all away.
I ain't gonna give it all away. I don't listen. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But it was in the moment I heard the voice of the Lord say, "Write the book." Okay. And I had a conversation with my mother. I don't know if she was completely coherent, but I let her know right there in her hospital room, "Mom, I'm going to write the book." And I know that we've had conversations in the past, like when she would have like an on day. So one of the things that I had to learn was how to flip the switch on and off, and how to change my expectation from her. So to no longer expect her to be mom, no longer expect her to be nurturer, because then I wouldn't get my heart broken. And then I could see her from a whole other lens and a whole other perspective. And so on one of our on days where I had the switch flipped on, she knew it's really weird. Like, she knew that things were broken. She knew that, as you even heard in the clip, I want to get our relationship back together. So she recognized that pieces were broken, that it was fractured. And on her good day, when she took medicine and when she, would kind of be in her own little, good headspace, she would recognize that something was wrong and that one day you're going to tell our story. And one day you're going to, so she would say things like that. She would actually say things like that to me. And I knew that at some point I would write a book. I didn't know that it would be then. I didn't know that it would be something that the Lord dropped on me in her hospital room. No idea.
And the reason why I asked you this is because we noticed that a lot of people are able to talk once the person is gone about whatever those things were, if it was sexual abuse, whatever. A lot of people don't talk about it until the person is no longer around. And then they feel this freedom of, let me tell what happened to me. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that should be stopped.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because you live so long with the pain and the issue because that person is still here. And then all of a sudden the boldness comes after they're gone. But, you're 50 and 60 years old. Yeah. And you feel like you can't be free until that person is gone, or those persons or those situations are no longer within your space. When I was actually, okay, go ahead.
And I think it's because a lot of people are still bound. When the person is there, you're still bound. You're still that guilt and the shame and the control and the, in my case, that's exactly what it would have been. Guilt, shame, control. It would have just intensified things all the more, and I think that that's why a lot of people will probably shy away from releasing something like that while the person is still there, because of just fear and not knowing how they're going to respond, or things will 9 times out of 10 get much worse if you are in an abusive relationship or situation, whether it's with a parent, a spouse, or whoever. It's I think that if the person, I think it's challenging if you're still in relationship with the person. You see what I'm saying? To release something like that and you're still in an active relationship with them. Now, if you have severed ties with them and they still alive, release what you need to release. Do what you need to do. But I definitely think that there is, as you said, a sense of freedom that comes over individuals once that tie is completely severed, never to be brought back again. Okay. So I definitely think that there's a fine line. And I think that some people, to your point, some people take advantage of that. And some people, and the other kicker is that you don't get to hear the other person's side of the story. You don't get to hear what they have to say, what their rebuttal is. And so I just really think it depends on the nature of the relationship. It depends on the nature of the abuse that or the trauma that's been incurred. It just really depends. I think it carries from story to story, and you just have to know what makes sense for your particular situation.
That's good. This is good, y'all. This is good. And I'm sure anybody that had to deal with this particular topic is good to you. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Dr. Easley is sending, because for some reason I cannot get you all the information for.
Ooh, that's
I think
good.
you all can see it. Can you see it? It says, join us for the 3rd annual African American Male Wellness Symposium, June 25th at 10 a.m. on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, Brotherhood of Mental Health, or in person at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. That's if you're here in Georgia, Lithonia, Georgia is where that's located. So you all can get more information, and I will post this within. I will make sure I put the flyer once this is over. But it's not just for the men, but also the women. We can watch it. If you don't want to you can't be in a room. You can watch it and get to understand and be more, quote, sensitive about the males in your life. Just as well as we want them to understand us, we need to understand them. Okay.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, wives, understand your husband, because I know it can be. It can be so. So, but yeah, thank you, Dr. Izzy. Yes, please, women attend, she says. Please attend. Okay, so yes, we need to all attend. You all, I know a lot of people are probably being overtaken by, now we talk about so much mental health issues today. Here in Covington, a man, yesterday, or was it Saturday? But I saw it today on the news, where a young man went in. I'm sorry, y'all. My son came in here and snuck in. See, this is live.
It's real life. Real life.
Real life. It's real life. It's real life. But a man took his child's mother's life and the 18-month-old child and shot the grandmother. The grandmother survived. But he shot the child and himself at a church. It's some mental health stuff going on. You can't go to a house party no more. Back in the day, we used to have house parties. They were shooting up a house party. 7 people shot in the neighborhood. You got these mass shootings going on. We got crazy politicians, and they just showed where the little KKK folk, these supremacist folk, I can't remember exactly where, but
yes,
at a gay pride parade, they pulled all these people off of U-Haul. Yeah.
Wow.
Dr. Izzy says this: we are in a mental health pandemic.
Yes.
I have to have Dr. Izzy on now, because she showed in this comment. She won't come on. I'm trying to get her to get out.
Listen. She said something earlier too, Lorene, where she was talking about mental health stigma.
Yes.
And us really working to dispel these stigmas and these myths about people with mental illness, that you are not some demon running around. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how we see it in our community. We're demonized, and eventually you're marginalized, and you don't get the help that you need. And it affects not only yourself, but it affects your entire community, affects your household, when we're not getting the help that we need. And so, we gotta break these stigmas.
Yes. I have totally changed this up, because I could not take a break, because the information that is going forth is so needed. And I pray that people have been blessed with hearing your story. How can they reach you?
So you can go to my website, and I need to put all the links in this chat, which I'm going to do right now. Okay. You can go to my website, which is patrickeasley.com, and I'll put that in for you.
Pat, you sending it to my chat.
Oh, it's probably... All right, here we go.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add all this to it. Like I say, I'm getting tech savvy now, and I'm gonna learn how to have all this to just click on the buttons.
Danielle, are you able to, this is my wife, Danielle.
Yes.
Are you able to put the links into the comments field? I'm not able to comment directly from the platform that I'm in.
Oh, no, that's because you have to do it from your phone. You can't do it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just plug it while we're talking. But patrickeasley.com is my website. I am a certified life transformation coach. And so I really dive deep into issues of abandonment, rejection, perfectionism, all those different types of things, and really helping you undo some stuff and really focusing on moving forward in life. And then my Facebook page is called Be Reconciled. It's under Patrick R. Easley, and I'll put that in as well. But you guys can follow me there. I've got some videos on YouTube as well. And then, of course, all of the videos are on my website.
And he's out of Chicago, but he can go anywhere.
Listen, anywhere. Listen, call me. I can go anywhere. So even when it comes to booking, you can do all of that directly through my website. If there's an event that you would love for me to come to, or something you want me to speak at, if it's virtual, you can do all of that directly through the website, as well as purchase the book. So you can get it on Amazon, or you can just go to my website and purchase it there.
Yeah. And so, with him saying all this, again, how you can contact us is at simlohdynasty.com. And our goal, you all, is to bring awareness to ACEs, to mental health issues, and to help people through the resiliency process. Okay. I wanted to also ask you this. Who was that person who helped you through? Because one of the things we learned about ACEs and how to become resilient is that there's always an adult or adults who help you through the process. Who's that beacon of light to just see you through? Who was that person?
So that person for me was my grandmother. And so to your point, part of that whole resiliency piece, like you said, having a supportive relationship with someone that you esteem outside of your home or within your family, that you can trust, or just being involved in extracurriculars, those can be buffers as well. And so for me, it was my grandmother. She helped really offset a lot of those negative messages that I had internalized. And so having her positive reinforcement helped to kill a lot of those things that I thought about myself, or that my mother trained me to believe about me. And so that's the difference. I say all the time, that's the difference between how children can grow up in the same household and go two total different paths, is because, one child may find somebody that they can attach to, have a healthy relationship with, while the other child may never find that support or may never find that. And so, you've got one who has a leg up, who's got somebody to kind of help them over that, through that season or that trial or whatever they're going through with that parent. But then you have the other child who's just kind of stuck and they just got to figure it out. And so some children are more resilient than others naturally, and so I think that plays a part in it too. But my grandmother, you know how I feel about her.
Oh, and she's a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. To her. And also, it was something that you said, oh, you're not the only child to your mother.
I'm not.
How many siblings do you have?
It's 5 of us total, 5 boys.
5 boys.
5 boys.
Did you hear that? 5 boys, and they all went their own different and separate ways. And so again, we have 5 men who were added to the society with probably no help. You know what I'm saying? Just you get
Yep, all of that.
With these mental health issues, and that was 5 men, black men, and don't get me wrong, every race has its mental health issues. Every race. The difference is we're just catching on as a community on getting some help.
And we have a lack of resources in our communities too. So there's just disparity even, on the counseling side of things. The resources aren't there within our communities for people to get the help that they need and get the resources that they need. And then couple that with the stigma, that we've created and that we perpetuate. People are just not getting the help that they need. And it's really, really sad, because now you got generations that are being affected and that are growing up in these toxic environments, and then taking it and repeating the same cycles, down through generations. So, yeah.
And when you talk about a lack of resources, another thing that SimLoH Dynasty is doing is that I have a mobile unit, which right now is my car. But I don't plan on having an actual brick and mortar. I'm one in the area where we lack the resources also. And so what God has given me is the vision to be able to go directly to the homes. For 10 years, I've been an at-home wife and mother. And so, but prior to me being a wife and mother, I worked in the social service, juvenile justice, spectrum. And out of all of my jobs, one of the jobs I loved the most was being a mentor and going to the homes, being directly there. And so it had always been my desire to be a Joe off the nanny. Okay. And I used to like how she went into the houses and would tell them, well, do this with your kid. You know what I'm saying? But yet we noticed that in order for the kids' behavior to change, she had to deal with the parent. Okay. And so if you don't have my book, Get Out, Training Your Children to Leave the Nest. Get that book. But my main and our main and priority goal is to be mobile, and we get the resources to them, regardless if that's counseling, if that's family life coaching. Right now, hey, I'll go and we'll sit on the porch and talk. Okay. It's hot down here in Georgia, though, y'all. It felt like yeah, he got my book. Yeah,
I got my book. I had to get up and go get my book. Listen, y'all go get this book, because me and my wife, we about to really dive into it. So
thank you. And so our goal is another one of our goals is to actually be mobile and get directly to the homes. And I need you all's help. I need you all to give to the SimLoH Dynasty. We are a 501c3. This is a tax write-off for all y'all big money folk. It's a tax write-off, but you will be given into good soil. Do you hear me? We have vision straight from God, and that's to be able to go directly to the homes. There are so many resources that are not available to our community, and we're doing our one part. You know, each one help one, and in our helping, we plan to be able to be a mobile resource. So one van is not enough. And when I say a van, I mean an actual mobile office, couch let out, you know what I mean? Just everything where we can get there and invite. Instead, they come out of their home into our home. And so we create an environment for them to be able to sit down and talk about the issues, okay, as a family unit. All right. If a kid needs counsel, we will be equipped with therapists. We will be equipped with counselors. We will be equipped with crisis intervention specialists. We will be equipped with peer counselors for substance abuse. We will be equipped to take care of those needs. And all I'm asking you all is that you would give. It's somebody that be on the social media. He be saying, give me $1. Give me $1. I don't know if y'all ever heard that, man. I don't know. Somebody told me about it. And so all I'm saying is, it just take $1. It just take $1. And I'm just asking for you all to be able to be a blessing to someone else. And if you have Zelle, look, y'all can pick up your phones right now and just Zelle us. You got Cash App. You can do all of that. We ready. You know, so put your phone up there. You can see you can give right there to Zelle. There's the little what they call that little code thing. You put your phone over and, you know,
the QR code.
The QR code. I told you I'm gonna get this. So that's the Zelle QR code. And then we have here the Cash App QR code. I guess you can see it. I see the time in a way. I don't know if that'll still get it, but you got the Cash App code, and then you got the Zelle code. And all I'm asking you all is to, and also we have Text to Give. We provide scholarships. We're going to do better this year. Last year was our first year, and we gave out 2 scholarships to kids who entered their first year of college or a trade school. And our goal is to give out $5,000 to 5 students. Okay. $5,000 to 5 students who have lost a parent due to death, substance abuse, mental health, or incarceration. Okay? But they have shown themselves resilient, and have beat the odds. Okay? So all I'm asking is that you just give $1. to help us to be able to make, and provide. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. And so a lot of people are saying, Lorene, you're not sharing what you're doing. You back. I'm back. Okay. And I'm back. And anybody that know me knows that I love helping people, and especially our children.
Yeah.
Especially our children. I love the children. All right. Patrick, I thank you so much.
I love you. I appreciate you.
We're going to have to do a panel, a mental health panel.
Thank you for creating a platform.
Oh my
and for
God.
creating safe space for these difficult conversations. Like this is everything. And so I just pray the favor of God is upon you, that your footsteps are ordered, that his word is a lamp unto your feet, that it illuminates your path, that every door that you need open, that it will swing open, that God will turn the heart of great men in your favor, and that he will put your name on, in boardrooms and among great men. This is beautiful. This is awesome. And so I listen, as long as I've known you, I've always known that you have had such a heart and a passion for children, for youth, for young people, and just to see that you're still moving in that vein, and that you're still operating not in purpose but on purpose. You're operating on purpose. And I know it's not easy. Listen, it's not easy trying to build and trying to figure it out and trying to hear God in the midst of all of that and all the noise and all the things that are thrown at us and responsibilities. But I thank God that his grace is sufficient for you and your household, you and your husband, and those babies that you're taking care of, and that God would listen. Don't get me stirred.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't get me stirred.
Oh my gosh, I thank you. And the same ditto. It was awesome even being in your presence today with all of this God has filled you up with. You are a true example of turning your pain into purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. You are a true example of that. And so, when we talk about being resilient, and I know we got to go, even though, I can be on the platform for 6 hours, Facebook don't cut me off, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I need y'all funding so I can pay these little bills that we got going on. Okay.
Come on. We spend money on DoorDash, paying them little extra fees, and I'm serious. Come on, we could give a little extra change. She ain't asking for nothing but $1.
Now, I'm going to do like the preacher say now. I gave you a whole sermon out here. I'd only been asking for money for about 5 minutes.
But listen, money is what makes this world go round. We need money, and we got to get out of that place of being afraid to ask for it. Money is it's what makes it go round. You can't do what you do without it. We can't do this video without somebody having money to pay for Facebook or stream. You know what I mean? So, y'all.
And we got to pay for staffing, and y'all, it's a lot. A lot of things we aren't able to do. Not just my organization, but a lot of other smaller nonprofits, just startups or what have you, are unable to do this type of work. And we have the passion to do it and the giftings to do it because we don't have the finances, and we'll give to anything else. Crazy stuff, but we will not give to be able to help our own, And so anybody that know me, if you don't know me, go to my website, ask somebody. I'm telling you, they'll tell you I love people and I love giving and helping people. I do. I see my friend Patricia is on here. She says, awesome conversation. Deborah House is on here. She said, you preaching, son.
What's up, Ma? Love you, miss you.
Deborah, one of my biggest supporters, said give. Yes. And for multiple vans. Hey,
come on.
Multiple, y'all. And I ain't talking about just no hoopty vans. I'm looking at
RVs.
Yeah, they're RV vans. And so, yes, y'all, I'm telling you, I believe God for this. Okay. I believe people will be helped. Each one teach one. Each one touch one. Each one love one. And with Michael Jackson, this world will be a better place.
That's right.
For me. Okay, I ain't gonna say it. But yeah, thank you all again for tuning in. I will be on. Now, y'all tell somebody, I will be on from tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday because I need to raise this money, y'all. I need the funds so that I can hire other people to assist in this project. God has given me 90 days. He told me 90 days. 90 days. And I believe God in 90 days, he is going to meet the needs. Yes, okay. I believe he's going to meet the needs. You know, I was like, this is so big. I was like, God, I just need to go lay on my face. He said, no, get up there and get on that screen. He said, get up on that screen because I bet, you know, sometimes we can get on our face and just lay there.
And stay there.
And stay there. He said, you've been still, now get up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be obedient. Okay. So I'm being obedient and I'm just asking in my obedience. I know he shall. He says obedience is better than sacrifice. And so I'm being obedient and I'm just asking that you all share with people. Share this. Tell someone about SimLoH Dynasty. They can text to give at 44321. Text to give. Okay. I love you, Patrick. I don't even want to get off of here. You hear me? I'm tell your wife, thank you for your time. Thank you. Look, thank you for your thank her for your time. You hear me? Thank you, wifey. You know, we love Patrick. Let me see. I'm trying to read these, but I'm gonna let him go. And again, we will do this again.
Yes, we will.
We'll do this again. We will. And y'all get that book. Get his book. Let me put it back up there so you can see it as we getting off of here. But get his book. Get Patrick's book. Yes, get his book. Make Her Love Me. So into it. Y'all, we can read so much garbage and we won't read what we need to read to get some help. Get this book. It is awesome. And y'all can tell from the conversation, it was amazing. All right. All right. I love you.
Ray. Love you more.
Bless you and your family.
We'll be talking. We'll be talking. Love you more. All right.